Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're working on our map, and the topic for today is trying to integrate some sort of like transit system into it. So, context is this is a map of Vancouver. I sometimes try to get around Vancouver because I live here, right? And usually, what I do is if I'm going somewhere that I haven't been to very often, I might ask Google Maps to say like, "Hey, if I'm going from over here to like over here, like how do I do that? What buses should I take?" And it'll say, take 3 buses, and instead of walking 5 blocks to skip one of your transfers, just wait 15 minutes for the next bus because obviously you prefer to take the bus than walking, which is just not true. And he just makes assumptions that I don't like. Right? I can walk. I don't. I would rather take like a consistent route than the fastest route. I might want like there's just a bunch of things that it does wrong that I don't like. So I want to make a path planner that says like, give me all these knobs I can tune. Maybe today I don't feel like walking uphill. Maybe today I don't want to walk through the downtown east side. Maybe today I'd prefer to walk through the forest because I want like a scenic route. Maybe today I would like to take a bus if it's significantly faster, but walk if it's like only a little bit slower, right? Stuff like that. And we're kind of getting there. What we have right now is we have like a path planner. So here we can see us drawing a red line through Vancouver. That's doing something. In another branch, we have the options to kind of like set parameters on this thing. So we can say like, I'd prefer to walk on sidewalks because I'm not a car. I'd prefer to take bike routes. I'd prefer to not walk down busy streets. Those are all things that we like almost support. We just have to clean up a little bit. But today's topic is this is kind of good enough if you're walking or biking or driving, but not good enough if you want to take the bus because you want to take you need to know where the buses are. So that is the plan for today. That's the plan for today. Is try to figure out how to fucking hook up buses to this. And so I think that we'll be in like a pretty good spot if we can render the bus paths on this map and like maybe inspect information about those bus routes. Like if we can find out like, oh, so the 25 goes down King Edward, and we can like find. I think this is King Ed. This is a service alley, so that is not King Ed. It's really hard to see without the satellite data hooked up. I don't know why I don't have it hooked up. But anyways, I want to be able to like hover over like the Granville Street Bridge and see a bus route that goes in here and says like, oh, this is the number 10 bus will go here, and it goes every n amount of time and stuff like that. So that's what we want to do. I was looking at data given to us by TransLink, the Vancouver bus provider, whatever, and they have this like chunk of data. I haven't really looked at it. I like unzipped it and saw that there were a bunch of text files, but that's about as far as I've gotten. So, let's take a little peek skis. Let's just see what the fuck is in there. Okay. Google Transit. So they they said they're using this thing called like GTFS, which is a feed specification. I don't know what that means. They have Google Transit FS feed specification. Right. And then in here, there's an official general transit system, and apparently this is like different than the Google Transit system, and so I guess we're using the Google one, which is like kind of like the general one, except that there are some differences. This is as far as I've read so far, so forgive me for being completely fucking ignorant. But we can maybe like look at these things and see if we can guess what's in here. These look like CSVs with kind of like some sort of structure, right? So maybe routes. This does not really tell me anything. This is like a route ID, agency ID, route short name, blah blah blah. Let's like, can we look a little closer? Long name, description, type, route, color. Okay, so nothing in here tells us like where the points are. Somewhere stops. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, these are some fucking latitude and longitudes, baby. Okay. Comma, 3, comma. What don't you get? Okay, so this is gonna tell us, I guess this is probably like where you can get on and off the buses would be my guess, right? A bus stop is a bus stop if you think about it. I assume that this doesn't like have relationships between stops. I would assume that routes does, but routes doesn't seem like it's linking stops at all. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, so trips has like a route ID in it. So I guess we have like routes. We have trips that go service ID. Okay, route ID, service ID, trip ID. Okay. Does it have stops? Do these have stops? trip heading, trip short name, direction ID, block ID. Nothing about this tells me that it's like linking between stop IDs. Surely something has to take us between stops. Surely. Stop times? Oh? Oh! Okay. So stop times has a trip ID. Trips have also trip IDs, unique probably. So on route 6612, don't call me Shirley, it's never not funny. On 6612, we have this trip ID, 138616002. And I guess here, if we look for that, fuck, not found. Oh no, this is the wrong file. We wanted stop times. Here. Okay, so we have all of these times where something will stop at this trip ID, and this has the stop ID associated with it. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this has a link between stops and trips. When trips link us to routes. Okay. So my current guess, which may not be true, is that we have stops is like point. Then we have trips, block ID, direction ID, trip short name. I don't really know what these are. I would think that trips, my guess is that these like link together stop somehow, but we have more stop times linking together stops, which doesn't really feel like it makes sense. What is shapes? Ooh, shape ID. Wait. Trips have, did they have shape IDs? Ah, okay, wait. Okay, shapes. Okay, wait. This looks promising. So we have, fuck this shit. We have shape is a link of points, I think. So a shape ID is duplicated many times here. So shape is like something on the map. Let's not draw that way. We need to make it look less like something that you guys will mock. And so he's gonna have like a point here, 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 a point here. So this is like a shape is like equivalent to our way. Trips are tied. Trips tie routes to shapes. So each trip. So we have shape 993. Is this the right? Okay, 0, 1, 2. Maybe we should open this in Excel. Trips text. Ugh. Fine. We'll fucking download LibreOffice just to fucking look at some CSV data. Because we're fucking lazy. And we don't want to count. I wonder if it's going to take like a year to install. We could also read, right? But reading is for nerds, right? So instead of reading the specification and understanding what things we should use, we will just blindly guess. And that's just as good. But my suspicion is that like shape is like links between points. Trip is like a mapping of like shape to route. And route is like what you think of. Route is like bus number. Approximately. That's my guess right now. But we will see. So we have, what were we looking at? We were looking at trips.txt. Fuck that. Discard that. I don't want that shit. He doesn't like that. LibreOffice. Why is he crashing on me? I want calc. No, I don't want to impress. I don't want to be impressed. New spreadsheet. Oh, that's super cool. Okay. Well, we give up on that. We are back to counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one's the shape ID. Okay, so this is interesting. So a trip, we have block ID, which I don't know what this is yet, and shape ID. So here we're kind of, all of these points in our trip, this is the same trip, is using the same shape for a lot of it. Not the whole thing. This is a different shape, but a lot of these are using the same shape. So what are blocks? Block, block, block. Do any of these things say block ID? I don't see block ID fucking anywhere. Grep block ID from the block ID here. Okay, so who knows what the fuck the block ID are? Are you actually trying to build a Gmaps alternative? For me, yeah, I mean, Google Maps pisses me off, so I'll do what I want. I wonder if block ID is like indexed into the shape ID table. Like maybe block ID is like the particular, like a line in this. Maybe. Okay, let's maybe actually read the spec. We're getting into the point where guessing is not good enough. Where does it tell us resources? Just give me the fucking spec, dude. Getting started, software. No, I just data. Data. Give me the data. No, this isn't what I want. Schedule. Reference. Here we go. Ah, yes. Okay. Term definitions. Okay, I don't care. Datasets. Here we go. Rules for mapping vehicle paths, sometimes referred to as route alignments. This is optional. Okay. What is not optional? Required. Routes. A route is a group of trips that are displayed to routers as a single service. So that kind of maps to what I thought. Trips for each route. A trip is a sequence of 2 or more stops that occur during a specific time period. Okay, so how does this link back to like location? That's what I was a little confused about. So they had shape ID, conditionally required. Identifies a geospatial shape describing the vehicle path for a trip. Required if the trip is a continuous pickup or drop-off behavior defined either in routes or stop times. Okay. Stop times. Stop times. This is required, and this is arrival time at the stop. Okay. Departure time, sure. Stop ID. This references the stop. Okay. Location ID. JSON location that corresponds to all service zone where we can request pickup or drop off. Okay. So if we have stop ID or location group ID, that's not okay. How the fuck do we get like... Wait, he said if stop ID? Is that what he said? Do we have stop ID? What do we have? So in stop times, we have 0, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 is stop ID. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, so stop ID is like this column. 646 is a stop ID. So it seems pretty clear to me that the stops have locations and that the stop times link the trips to those stops. And the trips link the routes. Routes? Routes. Why is it so complicated? Because a list of stops with each bus with times and coordinates. I mean, I think that that's what stops is. I think stops is a list of locations and they just hook the times up somewhere else. And then I think that the trips are supposed to link based off what it said here. Trips. It's supposed to link the stops together. Where did they say that? They said that here somewhere. A trip for each route. A trip is a sequence of 2 or more stops that occur during a specific time period. So the trips seem like they are supposed to link the stops together. But then I got confused about how they don't, like there's no stop IDs in the trips. So that's what I'm confused about. Like what is each row in the trips file? I don't understand. So we have a route service ID. Identifies a set of dates when a service is available for one or more routes. Oh fuck, that's gonna be such a pain in the ass. Unique ID trip identifies a trip. Oh, I guess maybe something else is referencing trips to tie. We like tie them together by referencing a trip ID from somewhere else. That makes sense. So trip short. Do we have like names for our trips? Let's look at what's in here. We do have head sign, no name. I see. So as part of the McDonald's to Dunbar loop, we go through all of these things. But then like why is this duplicated so many times? The trip ID is like fucking constant, right? Oh, no, because the trip ID isn't the first thing. The trip ID is the third thing. I see. So as part of route 6612, you have all of these components of your trip. And then surely someone else references these, right? Yes. Okay. Okay, so stop times has all of the times where I might go to this trip ID, and does stop times tie the trip ID to a stop? Ah, it's trip ID, stop ID. Right, so here we have this trip is going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of these different stops. Got it. Got it. Did I try OSM already? And if so, what bothers you? What you didn't want to build yourself? I mean, I don't think OSM does what I want to do. I don't think OSM even has a path planner. I think that you have to staple a path planner on top, which is what we're doing. Now there might be an existing solution, but fuck it. Looks like Gtransit CSVs. Oh, it is Gtransit CSVs? Yeah. It sure is. Okay, so I think I get it. Let's see if we can confirm that. So I think the stop what we want to look at is stops to find the location of the stops, stop times to figure out links between stops. Trips is kind of like trips and stop times together give us the path between stops. I don't know. I guess I don't know how we're supposed to know, like, if we have stop here, stop here, stop here, stop here. We kind of like create these edges by how? I feel like stop times doesn't give us those edges actually. Because stop times ties one trip to many nodes, but I don't know how we're supposed to know that is 104 and 105 connected? That doesn't look clear to me. Does not look clear to me. Edges are estimated by route planning, but is not used to create schedules, just to predict the state in a schedule. So we kind of, like, you're saying that, like, we have to basically walk forward on this thing by time and just fucking hope that if you sort by time, that's the order that the stops are hit? I guess these are sorted by time. So I wonder if there's a guarantee that the stop times are ordered. Stop times. Hello, I want to go back to where the, like, summaries are. Stop times. Times that a vehicle arrives and departs from stops for each trip. Oh, wait, a trip is a sequence of 2 or more stops. No, that doesn't help us. Routes, okay, so there's something between trips, stop times, and stops. I assume that stop times are sorted, but I don't know if it, like, is guaranteed. Identifies the service stop. All stop service to trip must have a record in the stop time, so text. Reference locations must be stops platforms. A stop may be serviced multiple times in the same trip, and multiple trips and routes may service the same stop. On-demand service using stops should be referenced in the sequence in which a service is available at those stops. On-demand service using stops should be referenced in the sequence in which service is available at those stops. So that's kind of saying that you sort by time. Right? Is that am I reading that correctly? A data consumer should assume that travel is possible from one stop or location to any stop or location later in the trip, provided that the pickup and drop off of each time in the time constraints. Oh, geez, Louise. Holy shit. Can you link a reference? Yeah, sure. Okay, so yeah, Raggy's just like, yeah, smile. Oh, geez. Right, so I guess the argument here is that your bus might skip stops. Right? So you have a bus and or you have like a train. A train is a better example probably. And the train can hit every stop, but it's not guaranteed to stop at every stop because if somebody like jumps on the tracks, then you might skip that station and you might just go to the next one. This is derived from crazy schedule software. Dude, that's fucked. Buses skipping stops is actually a better example that happens often. True, yeah. But I was thinking that like yeah, I guess that probably is better. Okay. So I think that we just ignore that, right? I think that we just ignore that constraint and we just assume that if we sort by time, that we get them in the order that they will be serviced. What's going on? Okay, also, wait, hold on. Hold on. Why do I only have times for this stop between 11 and 12? Don't I need stop times for the whole fucking day? Can we find let's find a bus that I know is like constant. So like these route short names. So let's like look at the 25. Goes down King Edward. He goes all fucking day. He goes all fucking day. So we have route ID 6627. So now we should go into trips and we should be able to find route ID 6627. And he has all of these things. Oh. So is he ping ponging the whole day? Do they have like just the whole day of this thing in this spreadsheet? So we're kind of looking at like, is this the block ID, shape ID? Okay, we're just looking at trip 6627, I guess. Everything related to, oh no, this is route. So we're looking for everything from 13871383 all the way back sequentially to 13870901. Okay, wait, this is starting to make sense. So stop times. Let's look at 13870901. Oh, jeez. So if we just scroll this shit, so where does this end again? I forgot already. So this goes all the way to 138.71383. 138.713. Oh, okay. So this is just literally the whole day ping-ponging back and forth. I see. I see. So this is every 2 stops that are connected for the whole fucking day. So this gives us every single time that a bus will transition, every time a bus should be at a stop. But there's so many buses. So you can't just sort by time, because if you sort by time, you're going to be like, there's a bus at 2, there's going to be multiple of these buses across the city at different locations. Sorting by time is fucking stupid. So how do we like derive the connections? I'm missing a step here. Stop ID, stop sequence. That sounds promising. What the fuck is stop sequence? Order of stops, location groups, or GeoJSON locations for a particular trip. The values must increase along the trip, but do not need to be consecutive. Okay. Are they unique? Fuck. Okay, so which column is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I assume it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is for this trip. So within a trip, we have these like incrementing things. First of all, this is hilariously sorted, by the way, right? This is going 1, 10, 11, 12, 2, 20, 20. So they sorted these things alphanumerically by, or like lexigraphically is what they call it, by stop sequence, which is just like the wrong way to sort this. So we'll have to figure that out. But, okay, so for a given trip, which isn't a trip. Oh, a trip is a sequence between many stops. Oh, okay. So maybe like you have one bus and the bus makes its round through the city on its schedule, right? So maybe this one bus to get from one station to the next goes through this sequence. So it goes 1, 2, 3. So he has 64 stops on his route. 64 stops. So if we have 64 stops, then we should be able to correlate that with the 25 on TransLink site. TransLink Vancouver bus routes. Also, the Raggy, like, why have you done this before? Weren't you in here on like the operating system stream saying that you worked on like Fuchsia or something a long time ago, and you're just back being like, I've also worked with transit data? Why? This is just confusing. I expect different people to come back and say I've done this, not the same person for multiple topics. Yeah, I worked on Fuchsia, but I made I own a Tucko in Bermuda and we service the buses. That's crazy. Cool. Okay, so bus schedules, is this what I want? I want like something just shows me the routes. Schedules by region. I just want like a map, man. To see if I think that the 25 has like approximately 65 stops. 25 Brentwood Station to UBC. Okay. So these are all of the stops. These are... So he's doing a sequence from 145. Oh yeah, okay, wait. This is all the stops because he's showing on the x-axis all of the times that a bus will be at these stops, and then on the y-axis we can see if this is 65 stops if we can select this table in some way. Can we do this? Let's just do use in console. Hello, I wanna use the thing in the console, please. Where the fuck am I? Why can't I drag this? Okay, temp 0. Can we do like children? Length 64. 64. This is 64. Let's go. Okay, we get it. I think we understand. So one trip is like one bus's circuit through the thing, and that trip might be different at different times in the day. Then we have routes. So trips are tied to routes. The routes are going to be approximately the same, maybe exactly the same throughout the whole day. But you have many trips on this route, and the way that you find out where the route goes is by looking at a trip, sequencing it by whatever the fuck this thing was, stop sequence, and then looking up the stop IDs and their coordinates. I think we get it. For what it's worth, the way I deal with this format afresh would be to import the CSVs into sqlite tables as a one-liner, then you can create same views of the tables. That makes sense. Can you just like sqlite, because it does look like this is designed to be used by sqlite, right? The way that these are basically like slamming the same trip ID back to back, you're supposed to do a join. You're supposed to do like select trip ID from this table, sort by stop sequence. That's what you're supposed to do here. Now I don't know if I don't really necessarily want to pull in sqlite as a dependency to my thing, but it does make sense as that this is like the way that I would want to explore them by hand. You're right, and if sqlite has like a simple, if it has like built-in CSV import, then I should just do that. Which it does look like you can do. Yeah, so I should have, but I think that we kind of get it already to the point where I don't need to do that anymore. So I think it's, let's write this down because we're gonna forget. So we're gonna say data relationships. Really? Trailing characters? E data relationships. Next. So we have stops, have where you board. Okay, let's just maybe we'll do sorry, quit this. This needs to go up one. Move data relationships to data relationships.md. So we have stop. Where coordinates where you can get on a bus. Then we have route, which is like what you think of when you think of a bus number. Okay. Trip is like one trip equals one bus from start to end of a route. Stop ID, stop times. This is how you correlate routes to stops. Follow a trip step by stop sequence. Look up positions. Yeah. Okay, so if we want to build our graph. We iterate by routes. So the plan. Iterate routes. For each route, pick a trip. You could maybe iterate all trips. For each trip, we want to build, make connections between stop IDs. Make connections between stop IDs. And you will find duplicates. That's fine. And there's a counter for weekend schedules and such. Yeah, I did see a counter out text in there. But let's kind of limit the scope of this, or else we're not going to finish something today. Okay, and then use stop IDs as, well, we can just shove stop IDs as nodes with the current in our like current data view, right? Our data view right now, current data view has nodes and ways. So we can kind of like, we can make it so that we build ways by doing this. Yeah. Build ways by iterating routes for each trip, find connections. We'll find duplicates, only use one. Yeah. Okay, so we put stop IDs, iterate stop IDs into, and put those as just directly into nodes. Okay, yeah. That sounds right to me. I think we get it. So we'll start by, we need to like process CSV. We need to make like write CSV reader. That's step one. Step two is going to be draw all stops on map. Okay. Then the next step would be link stops with way tag. Yeah. Okay. I think that will work. Do I want to write a CSV reader? They should be so easy. Does Zig have one for us already? I mean, as long as we don't have to deal with like any escapes, then we're fine. I don't really want to think about it that much. Yeah, okay, it's fine. I mean, how hard can it be, right? He says all the time. All right. I guess we will say that we are on a CSV reader now. What's he do? So we're gonna have like next. Right? He's gonna have this field. He's gonna take in CSV reader is this thing that we're working on, and we're gonna take in the CSV reader. Certainly we are going to have some sort of like data stream that we're working on. Right? And probably that data stream is going to be like a std io any reader. Because we are not going to want to do this like on a buffer. We're not going to want to like read this whole thing into RAM first. We're probably going to we're going to like walk this thing. Sure. Using sqlite right away sounds like it might pay off. I'm thinking. Yeah, you're right. No, you guys are both right. I should be using because if I want to iterate the things by some order, it does seem like it will be easier. And this won't make it into the like the web app. This will only be on like site generation, in which case we can eat more dependencies there without a problem. Yeah, you're right. Raw hand iterators would be painful. Yeah, I agree. Now that I'm thinking about it, you guys are both right. So let's pull in sqlite. And we'll just kind of figure out, we'll say sqlite the stops. Rust style iterators would be great here. Does Zig have a group by thing? I'm assuming that there's an iter tool. So in Zig, you don't have like the iterator trait. So you would probably have to implement that yourself. But you could easily write one. Right? In Zig, you just kind of like iterators by convention. By the way, ZLS 0.3 is available on stable. Oh, I've been checking every once in a while. And haven't seen it. But if it's there now, that's a big win for us. Because it is seeing that warning is a little bit concerning every time. Fuck. ZLS master. Ah, yeah, we finally got it. Let's go, baby. 2 months ago? I feel like I've been checking 2 months ago? I've been checking way more often than that. I must have been doing something fucking stupid then. Because I swear I haven't seen this. I guess I was just doing something fucking stupid. Okay. Well, good to know. But we ignore that for now. I'll fix that off stream because I don't want to like re-download all the packages and stuff. Oh, it was merged a few days ago. Ah, that explains it. So what was I just supposed to do? I wanted to like SQLite 3 import stops CSV. Fuck. Oh god, quit. Come here. Import stops CSV. Import stops CSV into stops. Can't open stop CSV. Stops.text, that's why. Import stops text CSV stops. Okay. And then can we do like select stops, select star from stops. Okay, okay. What did this do? We're scrolling. We are scrolling. Jeez, okay. Can we like select star from stops limit 10 or something? There we go. And then if I say like select lat from stops limit 10, no such column. How do I like list the columns? sqlite list columns. Oh. Schema. Nice, thank you. Okay, yeah, nice. So we do have the thing in here. So it's stop lat. So if I say select stop lat from stops limit 10. Okay, sick. So then we can do something like if I say import, what was the other table? It was trips text, CSV trips. Then we should be able to do like select star from trips where let's look at like 25. So where route ID is equal to 6627. Okay, yeah, sick. And we can do like select star from trips where route ID is equal to 6627. Order by, was it sequence ID? It was oh no, it was stop times is what I want. Stop times. Import stop times text CSV stop times. And here we want to say, right, so we need to tie, we're trying to tie the route to the path. So it's something like we want the route ID of the 25. So we want like select trip ID from trips where route ID is equal to 6627. And then I wish I could go back by one. That's annoying. Okay, you know what? Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. Let's SQLite browser. That way I have a nice little GUI. He's got to think for a second. I've got to think for a second. Okay. So new database. I don't want to save. Can we just like new in memory? There we go. Table. It doesn't matter. Does this have like the same import thing? Import. What's it called? It's like ls Google Transit. Trips.text CSV into trips. Like, is this something that I can execute, or is this only allowed in like the SQLite command line? Fuck, really? Is there no like SQLite import, like SQL result near syntax error? So can I not like import SQLite browser or something? Like, is that not something I can do? Can't you just open these in SQLite? I didn't save anything though. I just want to know like if I were to do this from code, I was kind of hoping that I could just like inject the CSVs directly. So like, can I do like dot import from SQLite library? Like, is that allowed? CSV to SQLite, like C. Like, is that something that we can do? in C. It's specific to the sqlite 3 shell. It's not allowed in the library lib. Not sure why browser is blocking it. Pragma format might work. Okay. sqlite import pragma. Import. No. That's annoying. That's annoying. So just run shell commands in the script. I mean, that is probably the way to get going. But it would be cool. Like it's just if the code's there, why can't I use it? It just means that if I want to do this all from like code, then I would have to make a CSV parser that injects line by line into SQLite. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I guess we just have like we just do this. we just in our code run shell commands as a process. We are now paying for using third-party software with our time. Yeah, but I mean I think we're gonna pay less than if we tried to do this ourselves. But maybe that's wrong. Because I guess if we wanted to just load everything into memory, it wouldn't be too bad. We could like make a structure that represents this in memory, and then just call like std sort on it. Prototype mode though. Prototype mode. I think we do pull an SQLite, and then maybe we back it out later. That's the way to go. So we are just going to. Can you like run like an SQLite 3 script? Can I like? It does look like I can just do this. So let's try like gen trips gen db. So they're kind of saying that I can do something like SQLite 3 import init. So I can read and execute commands from a file with some database attached. Okay. So test db, and then after this I quit, and this comes from create trips db SQL. ch zen 0, thanks for the prime, I appreciate it. Okay, create trips db SQL. So it's gonna be something like import Google Transit trips CSV trips and routes. These look like they think they're comments, but we'll kind of see what happens. So if I run like gen db, can we now like test db? Does this like have stuff in it? Okay, wait. That looks okay. Sick. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Let's like get the rest in here. So what we need: trips, routes, stops, and stop IDs, stop times. I think what it maybe was. Okay. And sick, we have everything we need. So we have everything we need. Now what? Let's. I'm thinking. Let's just go and say generate points generate bus data. Okay. So we are going to launch something and do something. We're gonna like. We want to what? We want to go over each route. Let's start with one route. Route. My parents are making fun of me the other day because I say route like an American. But but I grew up here. It's because of all the TV we watch. Is Zig where I want to do this? Is prototyping this easier in Python? If we want to integrate with the rest of the map, no. So we might as well do it in Zig. We'll start with running const sqlite is equal to c import sqlite.h, I guess. This is like c include. I'm not really 100% sure this is going to be faster, but it feels good for now. Dude, what? Finally catch you live. What is this saying? If you're going to dad the wars for building back end because leasing them out to lose so much searchability, I think that you're actually trying to ask me a question. I think that you, by dad, you meant add. Wars, you must probably mean like nodes for the buildings back end, because by leasing you must mean remove. You lose searchability for places. Yeah, you're right by that, but the OpenStreetMaps data for addresses was already shit. Decouple them. By decapsulate, you mean decouple them. I'm probably going to add a search feature later, but not the way that you're saying. So, wondering how this is going to help you create a map. I want transit data so that the map is like kind of a byproduct as a way of me trying to learn how to get like to make a trip planner, right? So, this is going to help me get around the city. The map also helps me get around the city. I'm trying to get transit information. That's important. Can't say I want to say hi. I love your YouTube channel. Hey, thanks, man. Someone else just copy pasting the same thing is very funny. Raggy's saying that when he moved to California, route was the first of many words to fall, and schedule was one of the most noticeable. Oh, did you say schedule before? Is that what they say in the UK? Schedule? Okay. Back at it. We're gonna focus. Focus the fuck up. Where have we used sqlite before? We've used it in Zig from our ball machine. So we should just be able to kind of see db Zig. So we should at the very least be able to yoinkies some of this. Not all of it, but maybe we'll start by yoinking all of it and then we will fix ourselves later. I don't know why hell was in my clipboard, but that's kind of funny. I guess we want to do, I guess we'll just do this. Ball machine source db. And then we will, I guess we'll use tmux to copy because whatever the fuck I did last time didn't work. Boom. Paste? No. Paste. No. Are you there? Okay, we finally got something. Okay, so we kind of want to just delete everything. Most of this stuff isn't usable. But extract column text, extract column blob sound like they might be. Check sqlite ret seems like it must be. Finalize statement, that's going to be useful. Make statement's going to be useful. Close db is also going to be useful. From sqln to sqln sound generic. Then all of this stuff is specific to our ball machine stuff. Delete. Delete. Okay. So we really only wanted a little bit of this, but that's fine. We don't need this like init from memory thing right now, and we're just gonna start with init db path. And then all of this kind of has to live inside a like structure for now. Okay, all this lives in here. Pick up the mouse and say, paste, please, speak into it like a walkie-talkie. That honestly does feel like what I had to do. It wasn't working. Okay. We open the db path with these options. We close the db if we fail. We do not need to create any tables. And now we have something we can work with. So let's do something like get trip. Get root points. Yeah. Let's start here. And so this is going to take in our database and return a list of points, which we don't have right. So const point is equal to struct lat lon. And if we do this right, we should be able to just fucking like dump these into a buffer later, and we'll be able to like just render them all. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. Route points. So this is where we start actually writing some SQL. So we want to make a statement. I would like to make a statement, please. And this is going to take in our DB pointer, we called it, and then we're going to say like select I forgot already, trip ID from trips where root ID is equal to 6617. This is get trip ID. Okay. Then surely we have to like execute the statement. Do we have finalize statement? What do we call that? This finalize statement. Statement. Then we do like sqlite3 execute, I assume. What do we do over here? It's like, we need an example here. We bind some stuff. We don't need to do that. And then we just call sqlite3 step on the statement. Here we go. Okay. So we expect to step the statement. We expect to get something back. And we expect that we can extract that thing with this. So this should be our trip ID. Okay. Now we panic. Not finished. But we should be able to std debug print trip ID is this. And this will be our first step along a long road. So here now, let's go in here. I guess this needs the dupe sqlite data function. That was used, it turns out. Okay, so now we can say db init with, what do we call it? Test.db. Then we want get route points, which is gonna immediately fail. This is fine. Cooking with gas now, though. I guess we just swap parsing for FI. Yeah, I mean, but I think that this will be faster. I think, but we'll see. We always can change our minds later. But you know, it's fine. Zig run. We're gonna run source generate bus data. He's mad because read declaration of C. That's true. I don't know why we did it that way. Unused identifier DB folders. This is 17, so we're not making a DB here. We are just opening one. He's gonna be mad because C import fails, so we need LC and lsqlite 3. Okay. C import failed because sqlite h not found. Is it sqlite3.h? Get route points. Okay, here we go. We're getting somewhere. So no field, remember name, get route points in this. So we have to try to make the DB, I guess. And this expected that, found that. So can we just say this takes a sentinel terminated string, and then everything else just kind of works. Expected void, so this thing needs to return a failure, field fail. This thing needs to be variable DB. And the statement is no good because make statement needs to be tried. Makes sense. Expected this, found that because this thing needs to be failable, which makes sense. So this needs to say try. And we should see a trip ID. Hell yeah. Okay, sick. So we have a trip ID now. And then we want to say like select, I guess we'll say this is like get trip ID. And then we will return trip ID. Get route points is going to be something else now. But he's going to say const trip ID is equal to get trip ID. Boom. Then we're going to try to get the stop IDs given this trip ID. I64? Probably. And this is going to be return a bunch of I64s. This is almost certainly failable. And then this thing needs to return a I64. Okay. So now we're going to do something very similar, but we are going to say select. I already forgot what it is. It's stop ID. Where's sqlite browser? Is it open? No. Let's open it and just use this as our reference. So we have select stop times. Select, okay. It's a select stop ID from stop times where trip ID is equal to the thing that we bind in. This is get stop IDs. Okay. So far, so good. We're going to have to bind a thing. So let's just bind int64. There we go. So we are going to bind the trip ID. And this is going to be at position 1, and it's going to be trip ID. Boom. Then we are going to have to iterate row by row. So this needs to take an allocator, which is going to use to allocate our things. We're going to say var ret is a std array list of I64s. Initialized with our allocator. We defer ret dinit, and we return try ret to own slice. Boom. Now for each row, while sqlite ret is equal to c sqlite row, no, while true. If so, we have we get this. We step the statement. We say if this is equal to, was it sqlite finished? SQLite done. SQLite done is what we're looking for. So if this is equal to SQLite done, we break. If it's not equal to SQLite row, we return error. And otherwise, this is while true. And then we just pull the shit out of the row. So this should just be the same thing that we did to get the trip ID, but we just do this to get the row number now. So this is stop ID, I guess. And we say ret.append stop ID. Boom. Boom. So now if we say stop IDs, you'll try get stop IDs for this trip ID. We panic and say unimplemented. We haven't found the points yet, but we're close. And we say std debug print stop IDs is a list of things. unused function parameters, because these need to be self dot on both of these. Okay. Oops. Zig run. Let's see if we get something. Stop ID is expected 2 arguments, really? Needs an allocator, that makes sense. So we need an allocator here, which means that here we need to like make an allocator. So var GPA is equal to stood heap general purpose allocator with no I don't give a fuck arguments. We have to get rid of this shit later. Sure, yeah, and then we say allocator is the interface from the allocator, from the general purpose allocator. What the fuck did I just click? We pass this in here. Uh-huh. Is that good now? I feel like this is like a different font now, but maybe I'm just like high. Okay, wait, these are some stop IDs. Love your channel, thanks for the raid last week. Oh, no worries, no worries. It was good to see someone doing something like more unique here. It's stuff that I want to get into. I've been considering at some point. I know this isn't what you were working on at all, but at some point I think it would be really fun to try to like build like something that's like I want to like take a microcontroller, build a GPU for it, and then hook that up to a LED wall or something. So I want to get into a little bit of the like breadboardy side of things, at least a little bit. But who knows if I'll ever actually do that? But I think it'd be kind of funny. Microcontrollers are tons of fun. Yeah, that's my impression right now as well too. Dude, I swear the fucking font changed. I feel so fucking high. This never looked like this before. But we'll have to live because I shouldn't care this much. Okay. So we have the stop IDs, and we should be able to go from stop IDs to points now. Get points given the stop IDs. So this is, I guess really we should do this in just one statement here. This is silly trying to do it this way. So here we want to do like probably like a subquery. I'm not going to be able to figure this out without stopping here. So our trip ID is, what did we say our trip ID was? This. Boom. And we actually want to order this by sequence like this. And so let's actually get the sequence as well to make sure that's ordering them in the correct order. It is not. So here it's because it doesn't know stop sequence is a number. It's confused about this. So do I want to set the data type here of stop times. Can I just cast this to an int? No. Cast stop sequence as integer. Thank you. Stop sequence as integer. There we go. Much better. And then here, this is just a select. Now we just kind of like shove all of this into a subquery, I guess, and we say like select stop lat, stop or lon lat, I guess, from stops where stop ID in this stuff. Close. What is it met at? Returns 2 column select. Oh, the stop sequence is going now. Okay, that's something. I assume that this is guaranteed to be in the same order as the stuff in the sequence, but that's actually not true because this stuff will be ordered. But then this is just going to look for the stuff in that list in the order that we see it in stop. So how do I like select from table ordered by sequence by like I don't know. I guess we just want to do this a different way. We want to join instead of doing a subquery, we want to do a join on the thing, then order by the stop times. So we actually want to do, let's go back here. So we want to do stop times left join stops on stop times stop ID is equal to stops dot stop ID. And then now that we have that, we have this ordered by stop times stop sequence. And then we can just select stops stop lon and stops stop lat. And then let's also set stops stop sequence as well. This is not stops, this is stop times. And that should give us, boom, perfect. Look at that. Look at that, baby. Okay, so we copy paste this into our thing here, and this is just going to return now points. This is going to get stop, I guess. This is going to be bound as wherever trip ID was, we bind this as question mark 1. Get stop points like this. This guy still binds the strip ID, but now instead of doing this stop ID, this is a stop lat. Lon is the first thing, which means that we have to get like a float. Rolling now, skill starting to pay for itself. Yeah, this is much better. As soon as I saw the ordering and grouping, I was like, yeah, okay, the sqlite's definitely going to pay off. sqlite data types is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for like wherever the fuck they define the getters. I guess we can just search this. Nope. This. Do they not have floats? They're all gonna be text, huh? I kind of assumed that I could cast it to floats. Yeah, there are no floats. I should have known that, but we'll fucking live. So now we want to basically say somewhere in here we have a way to extract column text. Hell yeah. Okay, extract column text. I guess this thing kind of assumes that we want to copy the data out though, but we don't really want to do that. So we can just kind of copy, we can do this. We just won't dupe the data. So we'll kind of say extract column text temporary, and this just won't dupe the shit. And so we can just return if item opt is null. We'll say that there's an error, or return null, I guess also makes sense. And then we can return item opt from 0 to item line. Okay. Okay. Just curious, why Sublime? It's not Sublime, so big fix there. easy answer. Just use 2 ints and roll your own doubles. I mean, it's not my data, right? So not worth. There's no thing that can fail in here, so this is just going to return this. We're going to say extract column text temporary, which takes in the statement as well as the column ID. So this is going to be the lonce for string, and we're going to say const lon is stud format parse float lonce. This is going to be failable, and then we're going to do the same thing for lat. Yes, Alacrity, the editor people choose struggle close. Alacrity is actually just the terminal emulator. I don't know if you're joking. It's hard to know. Sometimes people say stuff like that as a joke, and sometimes they mean it. And if you mean it and I'm making fun of you for that, I apologize. That wasn't intentional. Here we go. We append the lon is equal to lon and lat is equal to lat. And then I think we're chilling. So this guy needs to be points. And we might have what we want now. Get stops like this. And then here, we will print this down here. Points is points. Boom, 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 boom. Fuck. We were so close. Question mark. Right. So 67. This is or else error no lawn no let. Expected use size found int. So this is at 141. We need to int cast this thing. That looks not right. These look like they are all longitudes. Because probably I just typed longitude twice here. I did. They look like they're all longitudes because they are all longitudes. That will get us. That looks right. So this is negative 123 and 49.2. Floating point number, writing is kind of annoying, but it's fine. Okay. So we have all of the pieces we need now to basically put these things as nodes into our website data. So I'm just trying to think about how I want to tackle this. Because we could just try to draw all of this stuff as like, how do I say this? As like, we could try to replace the map with just like a bus map. But maybe what we'll do instead is we will tack this onto the existing data as points, and then we will write down which points that we stored are bus stops, and then we'll draw them separately. I think that that's kind of the simplest way to do this. So yeah, I'm just thinking, sorry. This is fine. So let's we need to make sure that we don't lose this or this. These are important. And then we want to add source generate bus. We'll move generate bus data. This will kind of just turn into like bus db zig, I think. This will become like a db is equal to this. This will kind of be like top level structure. This will be exported, and then we have kind of just get stops will be exported like this. And so now when we do, like when we generate the normal website, we should be able to say like const bus db is equal to import busdb.zig. At the end of all of this, we should be able to, maybe we'll do it at the start so that any errors that we hit are going to be hit immediately. We're going to say like bus db init. He doesn't like that for some reason. I don't know what he's mad about. Oh, because this still says db. What the fuck just happened? Whoa. What the fuck? Didn't I just change all this? I guess maybe I was editing the file before I copied it, and that just kind of like fucked shit up. So we'll change this here to const db is equal to this. So I think that's all we didn't change, and we had get stops like this. Here we should say fix me, don't hard code trip route ID smiles. But we'll live for now, because we are not trying to get anything perfect. We are just trying to get something that works a little bit. I'm not even going to try to DNet this stuff right now, to be honest. And then we'll say const stops is stops is bus db. We do need to give it a path, which is test.db. Nice. So this is stops. This does have to be tried. What's it complaining about? Yeah. Get stops given an alloc and a trip ID. Const trip ID is bus db get trip ID. That's fine for now. Okay. So now once we have all of this, we basically, when we write out the way, once we get like the nodes, somewhere we push nodes. Oopsies. Oh god, what have I just done? Here we go. Push nodes. We basically just push our nodes like this. He gets a node ID associated with OpenStreetMap data so that the ways have something to correlate. That's kind of interesting. Can we just like ignore that? Oh, this is kind of interesting, huh? So the idea here is that like OpenStreetMaps has like links of like nodes to ways, and the ways reference the like, we only have like a subset of those things. So we convert the like OpenStreetMap nodes node IDs to like our indexes in our buffer, and we just like don't have that concept anymore for this side of things. So for now, we're gonna iterate the points, the stops. We're gonna call this stop. And for now, we're just gonna push every single node with the same fucking index. Like this. Perfect. Type I64 cannot express that. Was that not right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, because it's an bitcast, I guess. So we'll just be like, fuck this shit. Or maybe we'll just use -1. I think that -1 is like an error case node, so that's fine. We shouldn't collide. Then what? Then what? Then I just want to make sure that we have like our metadata knows where these bus nodes start. So bus node start is going to be data writer. Hello? Data writer has a he doesn't really know how many we've pushed, huh? Unless node ID to index map has like a count. I guess here we'll just say num pushed. And then here we'll say num push nodes, I guess is what we want to call this. And then here we just say num self num push nodes plus equals 1. And then we can say now that we have bus node start is num push nodes here. And then in our metadata, we can say like bus node start is a usize. U64 is probably more safe. U32 is probably, we use 64s everywhere else, so we'll use U64. And this is going to be start index. We have to be careful here because these are byte offsets. This is index offset. So maybe a U32 here is fine because we can only display, like the webgl interface only allows U32, so U32 is fine. Then we just kind of like inject this shit in metadata, wherever the fuck we write that shit. Okay. Fine. Fine. If you want to be a U32, if you want my types match, I'll fucking make the types match. You happy? Are you happy? God. Fucking asshole. This guy, can you believe this guy? So now we should be able to run make site. And he's mad at here. I guess we need all these things to have default values, apparently. Even if they're invalid, fuck it. You know, whatever. I guess somewhere we kind of stopped doing this and we started working on this. So this is at some point before 012400. We do need sqlite if we're going to use sqlite. That's a really good point, build system, and fuck you for calling me out. Make site here. We need to link system library sqlite 3 probably. And do we already link this? We do. We are chilling. Was there anything else I was bitching about? No, it's just sqlite stuff. Sqlite. Waka 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 waka. Sqlite. Like fucking Pac-Man. All right. So far, so good. So far, so good. Nothing is crashing, but that doesn't mean. Oh, okay. We got a leakies and it finished. So that's really good for us. Can we look at now our metadata is too big, but if we like cat meta map data JSON and look for bus no node bus node start index, where the fuck is that? Grep bus node. I mean, okay, so I mean, it found it somewhere in there. It's just that you know, it's all in one line, and I don't want to install JQ to fix that right now. I'm pretty fucking sure it's in there. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is when we render this shit, let's just say that our renderer, he's gonna do something like look at all of the points after. I don't want to install JQ. Sorry, next user. I mean, I could. It's just because it takes like 30 seconds for some reason. It pisses me off. Bound renderer. We should be able to like render chords, render points, and we should be able to do something like render the point IDs of like. It's gonna be like self metadata, bus node start index to however many points there are. So it's gonna be like points, num points. I think it's just this kind of range here. This is assuming that we want like an index buffer, but we actually don't need an index buffer here. We can get away with just saying that I want a GL draw arrays from 0 to here. So is there anything in here that kind of just does that? We have render, which calls render chords. No. Draw elements. No. Okay, we'll just call GL draw arrays ourselves. So here we want to bind. We have the buffer data bound already. We should. So it should just be able to be like. We should just be able to do this, to be honest. Points from metadata bus start index to, and this is going to be length. So const len is equal to this minus this, I guess. And this is just going to be len question mark? Sure. I mean, maybe. That doesn't seem like crazy. This is probably has to be in cast as well. And then probably we want to like set the color. So like RGB, and we'll just fucking draw some red points and see if they show up on the map. I think there's like maybe like a 70% chance that that works. That doesn't seem insane to me. We just have the points at the end of the buffer, and so we should have the points at the end of the buffer. If you think about it. Unreachable executed. That's super cool. At 14, do you guys think that this is like a something that I should have clicked on? Index wasm. That's actually really unhelpful. I actually need a better error log than that. Console unreachable executed 391. So this is exports.init. Okay, so on initialization we're just like failing for some fucking reason. Oh, maybe it's not using the latest and greatest data. That's possible. That happens sometimes where like it thinks that it's cached stuff and it hasn't. Let's just double check here. No, he is saying index out of bounds at 160. Oh, here he's just saying there was an index out of bounds. So we hit on unreachable because we went out of bounds on something. Let's see if the map data JSON that we got has our response has been truncated. Is that normal? This is just because it doesn't want to fucking show it. Did you ever install the Chrome C++ debug thing? I should do that, huh? I should. But instead, what if I just didn't? Even though it's like purely better, what if instead we were just idiots? I should be able to run the local version. It should crash the same way. Node ID value, because there are node ID value on node neighbors does not work. Index, this shit show. Length, this shit show. That's interesting. Make site. Is it possible that we made a mistake on where we set the boundary of the way start? Here we say push way nodes. And how do we find, we found end ways here. Where do we find like the start of the way? End nodes is the node index map count times 8. So this is a problem. This is a problem. We need to set end nodes here. Is going to be data writer num push nodes times 8. There we go. Much better. Much better. I guess we could also use counting writer bytes written. That feels a little bit more like I won't fuck it up. Alright. Alright. So now hopefully we don't fucking try to use broken ass neighbor lookups. We gotta give him a second to think. He's gotta process some data. He's working hard. Poor guy. I can hear him. He's going. It's a hard life for him. Okay, so like, now let's see if we can. He's not crashing off rip. That's good. No crash. No crashy. So let's run our HTTP server now. And let's see if that fixes our problems. Oh, okay. So this draw is instance vertex fetch requires this, but attributes only supply one. So I think that probably we have to rebind. We're probably not binding the right things right now. So here we want to make sure that we have like GL bind vertex array of self or bound, hello, bound renderer. Why is it fucked? Bound renderer dot inner val. It could be that we just didn't have the right one bound right now, which would be reasonable for him to get mad at that. So, oh, let's fucking go, dude. I mean, that's not the bus route I thought it was, but that's definitely a bus route. This is the number 7. This is number 7. It goes down Dunbar, then down 4th, then across the Granville Street Bridge. This is 4th. This is 4th, right? 4th. Then across the Granville Street Bridge, and then all the way over here. And so it looks like, based off of the kind of like dots that we're seeing here, we have only gone one direction. We haven't got the backwards path yet. But that's fucking sick. That's fucking sick. Okay, so maybe we go one step further, and we need to basically draw the points for all routes. All routes. Instead of just one route. So let's go back to make, I guess in DB, bus DB. He is going to need to take in. I guess what we'll do for now is, do we want to get those stops for trip? I guess this is probably going to be relevant because we're going to have to tie these things together as like a path that can be walked. So I think it does make sense to do this. And so we'll do get trip for route. I know this isn't really true, right? There's going to be more than one trip per route. But that's okay. You know? So maybe we'll say this is going to be like get trips? Get one trip per route. There we go. And this is going to return us a bunch of trip IDs. I guess this isn't even what we want to do though, because we kind of want this to, like, we're going to want to do this in one SQL statement. This might some help if you want to infer the CF2 data types, might help first time from versus handwriting them. Hackersandslackers.com. I see. So this is just a bunch of options for how to yoink some stuff. Okay, cool. Okay, so I guess we just want to make like a fucking Uber statement. Do we? Because we're gonna want like the data structure that we're gonna want eventually is we're gonna want like this, right? So we're like this is gonna be route index, and this is going to be like stop index in the route, right? And so in order to build this, we need to have the things grouped by route ID, which I guess means that you could do like one big SQL statement that says group by route IDX. Sure. Yeah, that's not crazy. Let's go back to the browser. I don't know why this thing keeps like jumping to the end of the line for some reason. I don't really understand why. It's really fucking annoying. But maybe if I put some from creating a view that gets things into roughly flat form that you like, then do select edit for purposes. I know what a view is, but just in case I didn't, let's look them up really quick. Stored query. I see. So the idea here is that you temporarily make this like this table that has like this cached version of what you looked up that should be really efficient to look through. If I'm going to be doing multiple queries on it. Do I want that though? Like, is that any faster than if I just like I could just rip root IDs like on this side of this boundary and it wouldn't be that bad. I think. Query planner just merges the view query and your query. Oh, so the idea is that like instead of making one monster SQL statement, it becomes like it's like lets me write like functions. Essentially. I think, if I understand correctly. Yeah. I see. So you say like I think I get it. Now, is that what I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I think I want to iterate routes. I want to iterate routes. So that should just be like select route ID from routes. Then I wanna for each of these. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to like step multiple statements at once. I probably am. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't let me do that. Then for each route, I want to do something where I want to like get the trip ID where I like derive the trip ID from the route ID somehow. So this is going to be like where can I do like some like really bullshit thing here in the where clause where like where trip ID equals select trip ID from trips where route ID is equal to 6617 or whatever, limit 1. That does something. That does something. Whether or not this is the efficient way to do this, I don't really give a fuck. I don't give a fuck right now. We are in prototype mode, guys, and in prototype mode, we don't give a fuck about anything. So we'll do this, and we'll do this. sqlite is so forgiving. That's kind of my feeling as well. And so then we should be able to do like one outer loop. Okay, so now we're gonna say get stops for this root ID, and then we're gonna say pub function get all stops. Yes. And then this is gonna give us like a double vector of points. Yeah. That's what we're trying to do. So here, this is the routes select statement. We're gonna go kind of do something like this, except the return type here is not going to be no bind, and we're going to be adding arrays of points. I know that you could make this all one big ass linear array. Shut the fuck up. I'll figure that out later. Right? Because like doing like heap allocations of pointers to heap allocations is kind of like fucking dumb and stupid and whatever. But also the static generator, who fucking cares if our site generation takes forever? I mean, I care because it's like fucking annoying, but I don't care that much. I only care a little bit. So we're gonna step the statement, and then we're going to get the root ID out of this thing. Thanks for answering that guy in chat asking about language. I just didn't get to it, but appreciate it. We are going to yoink out, what is it, like column int 64 something sqlite results from a query. Column int 64. Yeah. From 0, so const row is equal to this, and then we say try ret.append. Been programming for decades, never heard of Zig. I mean, it's not that, I don't know how old it is, but it's only really, I've only seen it gain popularity in like the last like 5 years. I've been seeing things about it on and off on Hacker News for a little bit, but I think I've seen like a real big uptick in popularity like maybe in the past like year and a half. But maybe that's like super self-selection bias. Like maybe I'm just thinking I notice things that I notice. Things are cool and popular when I use them. That's how it works. I am the what's it called? What do you call it? Like something finger on the pulse for what is cool. Not true, by the way, just for the record. I know everybody knows that already, but you know, just in case. Yeah. Sure. And then we return ret to own slice. That's not crazy. Just wondering why I would use it. So fuck C++. Rust can be annoying. C is pretty good, but like there's a lot of things that we've learned since then. You add those 3 up, and then you use Zig. There's a lot of, I think there's like a lot of things that have like entered this space. Zig seems to be, I don't fully understand why, but it's picked up steam where other things have not. So, you know, and I shouldn't say like I don't get it, because like I mean it's the only one I've tried for a long time and I like it, right? So it's doing something right. It's just I can't articulate what that thing is. So here, instead of saying get trip ID get stops, we're just gonna say get all stops now. And then here is gonna be like, this is gonna be like root stops. And then for root stops, we append the stop. And we might get duplicates there, but that's fine. No, C++ hate? I can't tell if you're serious. Yes, C++ hate. Fuck that language, dude. It might be selection bias, right? Or what's it called? When like I've used C++ the most of any language probably, and so I hate it the most of any language is very likely true. Um but also like god, they're so like I don't want to say that like the fucking committee is brain dead because I'm sure that everything happens for a reason, right? Always everything happens for a reason. But holy fuck, the standard library is fucking insane. Like just really like garbage. Like in my opinion. Right? Like you just try to use it and you're like, you do something, you're like, I want to remove things from a vector. You type std remove and you're like, oh, okay, there's a function called std remove. Fuck yeah. And then you execute it and it's like, that didn't remove anything, it's just invalid memory at the end of your array. Like, I mean, I kind of get why, but fuck you, right? And then you're like, I want to run something asynchronously. And so you type std async, and then like the fucking thing runs synchronously in blocks. And it's like, why the fuck would I ever want that? Like, std move doesn't move things, it just casts things to an r value reference. It's just like everything in C++ is just like confusing. It's just all confusing. And it's like, I get it. Like, I get that it's like an improvement over, like, there's reasons why you would want to use it. But just the whole time I use it, all the time, I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And then if you're like, I want to write a function, if you just want to do something simple, right? You're like, I want to write a function that adds two numbers together. And I want to like behave slightly differently in floating point context versus integer context. You have to dive into this whole shit show of like Symfony, template if specialization failure is not an error. And then you just like get like fucked. This is taking a really long time. So clearly this idea of like iterating roots on CPU is fucked. Right? That's clearly just not working. Or we're doing something wrong. Context where fixes all that, by the way. Yeah, C++ 17 does make that a lot better. Not fully though, right? If you're like, I think like the idea of trying to be like, is this type floating point is still not trivial in C++ 17 onwards. Although at least being able to do if const expert is like a big win. What am I trying to do again? What was I doing? I was trying to see why the fuck this is taking so long. If you're not programming microwaves over low hardware, why would you not use a managed language? Because they're slower. Like you just having to guess about memory layout just means that you're just gonna have a worse time. But also like, I don't think there's anything wrong with using like Go and Java and C# and whatever, all those guys. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like they're less controlled. You have less options. It's like, I don't know. It's like, why just lose performance for no reason? What was I doing? Hi. Garnet written in C# outperforms Rita's written in C though. I mean, you can write bad code in any language. What's going on here? What is going on here? If std : is floating point v type. See, but that's kind of what I'm talking about, right? That is floating point v is like fucked, right? Like I mean, it's not really fucked, right? Like like that's just like you do like struct is floating point, right? And then you do like what template type name t, and then you have like this, I think, is like this, and then you do like your is floating point float is float true or whatever, right? And then you specialize this for all different versions of it, and then like, right, like the implementation of this is like not trivial, right? Because like now you have to specialize this for all types. I guess you would probably do default false, and then you would specialize this for float and double, probably. Do they have a dummy implementation of it somewhere? Right. So like, this is kind of what I'm talking about. It's like, it's not. Also, like, like this is inheriting from stood integral constant, which means that this itself is like a fucked up thing. This stood integral constant is like doing some sort of like you've just got like another language at compile time, and it's just like a fucked up weird recursive language. Like what? Like it's just it's fine. Like I get it. I just think they shouldn't have leaned into it. They should have just made const eval like early. Okay, so this is taking like fucking forever. This is taking like a really long time per iteration of get stops, which is kind of surprising to me. I don't really understand. Like, this is each iteration of get stops is maybe this statement takes a long time to execute. Like if I just do like this, that is like a 754 millisecond thing, which means that I would bet that this subquery is just taking fucking forever. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Because we are almost at 4 o'clock, instead of fixing this subquery, I'm going to change this to return after 5 iterations. So 4, 0 to 5. This is what we're going to do for now. We will fix this later. We will fix the performance at some point. But I just want to prove to myself that we can draw 5 bus routes, right? And we'll come back to it later when we want to get a little better. But I assume that there's just some sort of like SQL query optimization that I have to do here to make it not absolute fucking dog shit. Are you using any indices? No, right? Yeah, there's a. Don't worry, you don't need to tell me how to optimize it. I'm. It's like it's not like, oh, what a surprise that it's shit. It's just we have to fix it. But this does look like we have found a few bus routes, so that's pretty sick. Okay, I was hoping to get a little bit farther here. I was hoping to get to the point where we could kind of like hover over a route and say like, where does this go? Like which bus route is this and stuff like that. But this is at least something. This is like a pretty good initial starting point. Pretty happy with that. So I think we're gonna call it there. We are close to 4 o'clock, not quite there, but I don't have time to go that far over today. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to say we'll get there next time. So we'll be back tomorrow with continuing on here. The next steps are get all routes, figure out how they're connected to each other, make a way like connect the bus graph to the regular node graph. Like we have to make links between like which node is close to this stop. We're gonna have to make a link here that has some sort of cost associated with time probably. Then we're gonna have to figure out how to like make costs for how like times between stops and like scheduling and all that. So there's a lot more to do. But we've got a good first step. So if you want to see that, tune back in tomorrow, or you could check out the YouTube. There are things organized by playlist. We're in the map time playlist right now, but if you want to see stuff that we've worked on before, there's like operating systems, QR code decoder, Zeolib implementation, video editor. There's just, stuff in here. If you want to go check that out, that's there. There's a GitHub link in the Twitch description where you will see code for this under the FMAP repo, but if you want to see other code for other stuff, that's there as well. What else? We have to plug like, subscribing, and Twitch priming, Patreon. All of that stuff is available if for whatever reason you want to give me likes, subscribes, or money. If you want to contribute to the ball machine that is showing on the right, there is this upload thing where you can write a WebAssembly module and upload it to my website, and I will probably accept it if it doesn't look, if it's like not like broken, I will probably accept it and it will show up on the right here during stream, which is kind of fun. I think that's it. YouTube, bye-bye, and Twitch, let's find someone to raid.